Welcome to the Project Violet podcast. Carrie, how you doing?
I am good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while since we recorded one of these.
It has a few weeks,
Yeah,
actually.
glad
Yes.
to see your smiling face. How are things going?
Oh, likewise. Good. Things are good, except for I have to complain about the weather here where I live. It's gray and rainy and has been for weeks. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like Houston is like that a lot recently. But
I
then we don't.
moved to North Carolina to for the sun.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
You're bringing that Chicago gloom
It
over.
followed me. I don't like it.
Actually, when I moved from Texas to Chicago, I do remember how gloomy it got, especially in the fall. All of a sudden, the sun sets around 4 p.m.
Uh-huh.
And I remember at that time I was on a client where I would get into the office before the sun rose. And by the
Oof.
time I left, it was already dark. And I was like, I haven't seen the sun all day.
No, that is so rough. I've been there.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
But yeah, I totally understand. Moving towards where you get sun, you get some coastline too. That's nice. Some
Yeah.
water. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty great. And mountains too. And North Carolina has it all.
Yeah. Houston has it too, but I think our water's a little dirtier than yours.
Remind me not to swim when I visit.
Yeah, the Gulf of America, is it?
Oh
Is
God.
that what it's called now? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right, let's jump into it. So, what I want to
Yeah.
talk about today is so inside the community on the consulting side, we are very focused on AI upskilling. And we are kind of halfway through what we're calling the AI Upskilling Project. So, we're actually building, testing things. And I want to give just kind of an update on the biggest takeaways because I think AI is still kind of front of mind for everyone. And then from there, we can talk about what AI means, in kind of this modern world and this kind of future of work that we're moving into.
And we certainly don't have the answers, right? I think it's like I'm
Yeah.
excited for this update because it's all so new for so many of us. This
Yeah.
idea of even how to incorporate it and how to optimize it without losing our humanity, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's actually a big topic too. We can get into that kind of AI first companies and then human centered companies and all that good stuff.
That's what I'm hoping to talk about because that's what's
Yeah.
on my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. So maybe I can break down our timeline and then give a quick update for folks. But one thing that I've loved seeing is people that have come in without the AI fluency. So they've ranked themselves as beginner or just not AI users, and just seeing that light bulb turn on as they're going through and building and testing and saying, "Oh, I can kind of see the value. I see how this works now." It's been very fun to see, very exciting.
Gosh, it's so rewarding. And that's why we do L&D, right? Like that's
Yeah.
why we do, and
Yeah.
create these programs because it's so rewarding to see someone go from point A to point B and really feel the impact of the program.
Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
So how we've designed it is, like I said, like a project. So it's a project-based approach. We started with essentially spending 2 weeks just thinking and preparing for the project. So what AI stack people wanted to use or experiment with. We have people using Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, even some Grok on the
Oh,
side. Yeah, so that's been interesting. Um, as well as some AI specific tools and then some automation tools that we're starting to get into this week. But we spent 2 weeks just kind of prepping, thinking about what AI workflows we wanted to build and attack, trying to think strategically of what could be a quick win, getting kind of a low risk use case but high value, and really breaking down those workflows. And I think the mindset and the biggest takeaway from that perspective, and definitely seeing it now as we're building and testing, is a lot of people see AI as kind of conversational input output. And the way that we designed it is think of not AI as a kind of a tool or a technology, but think of it as someone you're onboarding and you're training to delegate this workflow to. And I
oh,
think that mindset shift really helps when you are prompting or when you're starting to think through how you want to use AI, especially when you're just thinking of how to prompt and how to tell AI to do specific things. If you were onboarding a person, how would you explain
hmm
things to them? You would give them a kind of, this is your role. This is kind of the context of the task I'm asking you to do. And you would get very specific of like, what are the different things that they need to do and kind of what's the expectation of the output is. So when you think of AI as a person that you're delegating a task to, it starts making the whole process of how you build the AI solution. It makes it a lot easier and it makes it actually the output more valuable and more accurate.
did you come up with that?
I'm sure I heard it somewhere.
Well, take credit for it because that's incredible. I mean, I love a mindset shift. I think that is change management 101, right? And when
Yeah.
and that's what we're all experiencing right now is this immense change in
hmm
the way that we live and work, with this tool. And so what a cool way to frame it. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. And then from there, actually, you know what? I got this from someone named Rachel Wood, and
Okay.
I'll link her stuff
Go
in the
Rachel.
she's someone from Austin, I think. She runs a consulting agency that helps people, AI upskill and automate
Cool.
their workflows. But yeah, we'll link her stuff down below because she's been great. And a lot of the stuff that we're pulling, and using is a lot of stuff that she just kind of gives out there for free.
I
So
mean,
yeah, she's
thanks,
awesome.
Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. So kind of approaching it that way, and then from our prompts, we followed the same structure for all the prompts. So we started building and testing in week 3, and spent a lot of time on prompt engineering. And what we found is a lot of people originally were approaching it kind of like a conversation. So they're almost fighting with AI to try to get the output that they want. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, a long conversation of back and forth of, no, this didn't work. Can you do this? Can you do that? And we found that it's starting the prompt in a very structured markdown format was one of the biggest takeaways. So the way that we approached it is the starting prompt has different sections, and each section you have to give it a lot of context and a lot of direction. So it goes in the markdown of role, context, task, like what you
Okay.
want the AI to do, the input that you're giving the AI to use to build the output, and then a section for examples of like what does a good output look like, or here's an example of an input and the end result that I want. So giving the AI examples of what good looks like. And this is again thinking of if you're giving a person a task, you want to
Right.
show them historical work and say, this is what, we've done in the past that we want you want it to look like when
Yes.
when you do it. And then a section for guidelines, which is, rules, formatting, how you want the structure of the output to be, and then executing the task. So this prompt, so originally people would probably put in 10 words or like two to three sentences for their prompt. This prompt
Mm-hmm.
now is like 2 to 3 pages long. And
Wow.
you're starting with that and then working from there. And we
But
found that,
can I
yeah,
ask you a question about that?
yeah.
Are you seeing a direct correlation between the people who are struggling with that much detail and like their level of expertise? Like meaning the more expertise they have in the particular subject, the harder it is to boil it down.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the people that are definitely further along with more experience and
Uh-huh.
are quote unquote experts in what they're doing and what they're trying to delegate, these people are excelling very quickly. Like they just needed the structure,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can just input their expertise into that format, and the output is just 10x better than what they were originally getting. And definitely some kind of emerging consultants that are, don't have necessarily all the experience, so they can't put enough into the context or the guidelines. They
Oh,
don't.
I see. It's the opposite of what I was thinking. I was
Oh,
thinking that
really?
somebody was so high level with what it is that they're trying to do that oftentimes people struggle to boil it down. But you're saying that once they have the framework, the detail comes easier because they're drawing
Oh,
from
yeah.
experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah, people who normally I think started struggling with AI at the beginning are these kind of, I mean, I don't want to be an ageist, but kind of older experts.
You ageist.
Yeah, and they actually came with the mindset of like, I don't know all this new technology. Like I'm just used to like my old way of doing
I just
things.
want to point out you're talking about people who are my age. Thanks for that. Keep
Actually, yeah.
going. Keep talking.
Anyway, actually, I have this whole theory too of like, so I'm a millennial, and I think we're in this like weird spot of, we've grown up we've seen the internet grow, and now we're kind of seeing AI grow, and we've kind of lived in both worlds from a technology perspective on whole different spectrums. So like we're the best people equipped to mentor, the younger generations and the older generations on how to use this technology.
Well, let me just challenge you on that. So you've got a Gen Xer here, and I don't know if you've heard of Zennial.
A
So the in
Zennial?
between of the Gen X and the millennial. So
Oh.
like you're not wrong, right? Like your millennial, like being in the middle of two incredible phenomenon, right? Like when
Mhm.
it comes to technology and AI or internet and AI, Gen X generation grew up without technology, but then around age 20,
Mhm.
like our teens into 20s, then started getting the internet and the cell phone and the things that we then had to jump pretty quickly into that world. So it wasn't our whole life, but it was something we had to adopt, very much like
Yeah.
AI now for you.
Yeah, honestly, I think every generation goes through the same
Yeah,
thing.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Because I remember articles that I'm reading now of what's the current generation that's going to the workforce? Is it Gen
Z.
Z? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, all the articles over there entitled, they're lazy, they're
I
not,
hate that so much. I hate that
but
so
I
much.
remember those articles about my generation when
Yes,
we were
about
entering the
millennials. That's
workforce.
right.
Yeah.
You
We
can
were
go back
entitled and lazy. Yeah.
since we've been naming generations, there's that narrative
Yeah. So
from every generation
it's
before to
just
the next one. And I think it's
exactly.
so
Yeah.
old and tired and completely misses the mark. Like there is something of value that each generation can bring. And if we're just open minded enough to embrace it and see it,
Yeah.
like we're all better off.
It's so true. So everything's just repeating itself. And
Yeah.
uh
Sorry to
millennials.
burst your bubble there, but
No, actually, yeah,
and
because
listen, I don't
yeah.
disagree with your statement. I think you are well positioned as a millennial to, to really,
Yeah, to kind of bridge both.
yeah, but it doesn't mean that others aren't, right?
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, no,
I know you weren't
but,
saying it.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but to the point. So there, maybe the sample size is a little small, but definitely people that were, kind of the older, more experienced.
Hmm.
After they kind of got the right structure on and understood how to use AI, they are running, for the hills with it. Not for the hills, but they're definitely progressing at an accelerated pace,
Nice.
which is awesome.
Yeah, that is. That's really cool.
Yeah, so those are kind of the biggest takeaways. We're now moving into the automation stage. So a lot of people have been building kind of just different components with AI, and now we're kind of stringing the components together with some automation. So there's kind of end-to-end automated workflows that we're building,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but I mean the way that I'm approaching now for Project Violet, our community and our even our consulting boot camp, it's going to have an AI flavor to it and everything going
It has
forward.
to.
Yeah. So we're
Mhm.
running another boot camp, I think in late September. And for each core competency that we're going through, there's going to be an AI component, which I think is going to be awesome. And it's so nice to just give someone a starter prompt and then just see them take it and then kind of adapt it to their companies and to their style. And I think when we're going through the boot camp, we're going to have starter prompts for every single thing that we do as consultants, that we'll work on together and build together. So that's going to
Mhm.
be exciting.
I like the community piece of what you're doing too. Is there an opportunity for your the consultants in the boot camp to be collaborating with each other?
Oh yeah, there's
Or
definitely there's
there
spaces for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
exactly.
that's so important, right? They're learning from each other, they're getting ideas that they maybe
Yeah,
hadn't thought of. Yeah.
yeah, they're sharing.
But still running their own project and their own, getting their
Yep.
own value, out of
Yeah,
their own outcomes, right? Like yeah.
yeah, they're sharing their prompts and kind of their
Yeah,
lessons learned, what's working. It's a great way to learn in
it
community.
is. I
Yeah.
agree. Good job.
But so the next topic I was thinking too is, as I'm thinking about how to infuse or incorporate AI across, Project Violet and the products that we have, thinking about other CEOs and this whole kind of new trend of AI first.
What does
So
that even mean? Can you tell me?
yeah. So I think that one of the biggest examples, I'll give you two examples. One of the forefront of the example, or the person that I think pushed it forward, is the CEO of Shopify,
Okay.
I think, and I don't remember his name, but essentially what they were saying was any new hire in the company has to go through this filter first of, can we do this with AI? So every kind
So
of
before they're approving the hire, like the
Mhm.
role.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you want to hire someone new on your team, you
Wow.
have to go through this whole justification process of why AI can't take on that role, or can we build an AI solution to fill that
Yeah.
gap? So that's kind of the AI first approach. And I'm sure Shopify is still hiring a ton of people, and this might be something, a tool or some kind of trick that the CEO is using to drive AI adoption. So it's
Maybe.
making everyone in the company think AI first. I think that's the mindset is,
Mhm.
hey, how can I incorporate AI to fill the gaps that I'm trying to fill with a human? And the way that he's forcing his company to think about that is he's making every hire a justification of why AI can't do that
So
role.
they have no choice but to think about it.
Exactly. So everyone's
Right.
obviously thinking about AI
Right.
first now. Another example is I just recently listened to a podcast from the CEO of Flexport. So
Okay.
he's a guy that's dealing with like the forefront of all the tariff chaos that's going on right now. Because so he's doing all his company's logistics, and they do kind of
I was
import
just going to ask you,
export
it sounds like a
of like
logistics. Okay.
of like freight going in and out of the country and around Asia, and how people are rerouting now because of all the tariffs and the
Oh
chaos
my
and all that kind of stuff.
gosh.
Yeah. But he was saying that in his company, he didn't mention AI first or anything like that, but he's definitely thinking about it, and he's saying that in his company, they're automating with AI about 1% of a role per week. So, which is interesting. So, how many weeks are in a year? 52, 52
52,
weeks
yeah.
in a year. So, by the end of the year, if they continue on this trajectory, they'll have half
50%, yeah.
50% of their roles automated or, leveraging AI in a big way to do those tasks. Um, and that's the trajectory he's on now. And maybe that's an overgeneralization, but and maybe it plateaus. Maybe AI, starts handling things up to 50% and then it starts plateauing. Who knows? But that's definitely another way of thinking about it. Is people are breaking down their roles into
Hmm.
very manageable tasks, and then they're starting to automate 1% at a time. So
Hmm.
that's another way that I think AI first, kind of that idea of that is kind of permeating in different companies.
I think that's cool. Actually, it that example gives me faith in this idea that humans are still needed, right? Like that. So 50% of the job, it's like, well, and it, what I first thought of when you said that too is like, how do you eat an elephant, right? Like one bite at a
One
time.
bite at a time. Yeah.
And so that's what they're doing. And I think incremental growth, you and I both know this, and I talk about it a lot, is like incremental is always the way, like, because you can pace it and it's making sense and you're learning as you're going. And it's much more agile, isn't it, to grow in that way or to learn in that way. But it still creates this situation. I think maybe I'm making an assumption here that's far off, but that there's still a person needed to do the other half of the job.
Hmm.
Or maybe some of them will get to a point where they're at 80% or 90% or whatever of, AI, and that just becomes a different, makeup of the workforce. But people are still needed to do the, like, it's like when you get to the, it's like a quarterback with a Hail Mary pass or something. There's still a person on the other end, the receiver has to get it into the end zone. Is that even, I don't know if that's the right analogy, but
Yeah,
someone's got to get the ball into the end zone, right? Like,
yeah. There's definitely and there's definitely roles out there where, AI definitely cannot touch right now. I got my hair cut yesterday. That person is
oh,
they're not
right.
losing their job to AI. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, in consulting, there's definitely a lot of opportunity there to
Hmm.
automate and to accelerate tasks and to do your job better with AI, for sure.
Well, better. And like, that these people at the top of these organizations are going to be like, now I need more from you in this way. And it's just going to look different than
Yeah.
it did.
Hmm. Yeah, I love there's a lot of different things that you can do. Like just even on the project delivery front, you start every project, you build their project plan. Most, consultants definitely do that. And the process that you go through it now, you get old project plans, you think about what are the milestones, the timeline that you have, the scope and
That's right.
budget, and you
Yeah.
start compiling it. And you can see like AI can definitely do a first draft of that.
Yes.
And if you just give it the right references, you give it the right context, you give it the role of a project manager, as, for a management consulting
Mhm.
firm, you can see how easily it is to just have AI run first drafts very quickly for all this type of
I have to
stuff.
tell you, I just did it this morning. We had a conversation with a potential new client yesterday afternoon and asked if we could record the call, which we don't usually record discovery calls. I think, we just take the notes
Yeah,
and we recorded it through the transcript into AI and said, "Hey, summarize this." And it's going to help me where I see it. It's still certainly something that we have to build and put together in terms of what the program looks like for the client, but it's going to help me make sure that I'm focused on what the client said, right? Like making sure to address
absolutely. I think
those
that's
points.
table stakes
Yeah.
at this point in
Yeah.
where we're
Thanks for
at.
that.
Yeah.
The bar is low for me. Okay. Thanks.
If you're not recording your meetings and having AI kind of summarize it for you, you're definitely behind. But I'll say this though, there's a lot of clients that we've had that have, compliance and regulations where they can't necessarily do that. I know there's a private equity firm that I was working for where, everything is discoverable for
Sure.
SEC
Yes.
regulations and stuff, so they didn't want to record their meetings. But
That makes sense. I mean, of
yeah,
course, there's going to be those limitations.
yeah,
But for me, and we're just talking about, employee development.
hmm yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. A good tool. Actually, we talked about different transcript and recording tools in the community, and Granola was kind of the winner
Oh,
from what so definitely we can put the links
yeah.
in the comments. But yeah, Granola is really good. It's also the more stealthy one that I have, or that I've experimented with. So it'll kick on once you have a meeting that just pops up. It goes, "Do you want to record this, or do you want me
Oh,
to take notes?" And the person on the other end doesn't necessarily know that you're
well, shouldn't you
recording.
tell them though?
You should, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely best practice is, hey, is it okay if I record just to take notes?
Yeah.
And definitely you have to check within your states because different states have recording laws that you need to follow. And I think it's the two-party consent law.
That's right.
So in
Sometimes it's one.
Texas,
I learn about that in my true crime podcasts.
oh, there you go. So Texas is a one-party consent law, which is kind of interesting
It's
to me.
wild,
Yeah,
right?
so
Like, I'm like,
I can consent and I'm not
they're
telling
recording
you.
you. Yeah.
But I know a lot of people in the community are up in the Illinois area, and that's a two-party consent law.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. But I
so
think that's how it should be. Excuse me. Like, what? But then, there's all these situations where there's like dangerous criminals and stuff, right? And like, what do you do? I don't know. There's exceptions to everything.
it'd be
Uh,
interesting to look if there's any precedent on enforcing that and how it gets enforced, how it gets used. It's
mhm.
interesting. But anyway, so definitely if you're recording, always let your
Yes, please.
fellow meeting attendees know that you're
Well,
recording.
that's the first, I think, straight line to eroding trust if you don't, right? Like in
Yeah.
those moments when it's a common courtesy.
Yeah, and just
Yeah,
assume you're
we're not
getting
talking
recorded.
about catching a murderer.
Yeah. And I think just for your own protection, always assume you're being recorded if you jump on a meeting. Because
Yeah, that's a good,
there's so many
sure.
tools now that just run in the background that you can't tell if they're recording or
Yeah.
not. Um,
I have to say really quick before you say your next point is that I do not think, and I feel like we talked about this one in one of the episodes that we actually didn't end up publishing, but this idea of granola and stealth. Like, why is it called granola? That does not make any sense to me. Like, you're saying that's the most stealth of the options that you
well,
have, and then it's called granola. What?
yeah. Well, I don't want to put granola in that light. Like its major benefit is not that it's stealth, although that is nice. Is it actually takes really good notes and
It's
like
crunchy. No,
transcribes. Yeah.
okay.
It's actually really cool. The feature is you can take your own notes and then it takes its AI enhanced notes for you. So you can augment it with your own notes and then it takes the transcript and it's
I
easy
mean,
to
I like it. I just
copy
don't think
paste
the
it out.
name is.
It's so granola, so vanilla.
It just feel right. Like, who gets excited about granola?
But I guess granola is it goes with everything. It's healthy. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the
That's a
marketing behind
stretch.
it. You don't like granola on
No, I
your
do. I mean, I do. I,
yeah.
I do. It's a nice. It adds a little crunch to my yogurt, but I
Yes.
don't think of it as something I get excited about
Yeah, so
or
it's
like
like
rely on.
it's the healthy thing you sprinkle over everything.
I guess it does add that texture we're looking for.
Yeah, but it wouldn't go with spaghetti. But anyway,
It would not,
it would
or
not.
a
So
steak.
yeah, so that analogy
Gross.
doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Well, good thing we're not marketers for granola.
I mean, look, they'll figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. What
Yeah.
was the last thing we want to talk about? Yeah, which kind of goes along with the whole AI first company conversation, but like, do
All
you
right.
believe AI is going to replace entry level jobs? I'll let you take that one.
Well, I don't know. I think that it's like we were talking about, like you said, we already sort of addressed this a little bit to where I think there are some entry level roles that can be automated or the whatever the people are doing. But at the same time, if I'm running an organization and I'm thinking about the future of it, and it relies on the connections and the relationships that my people have with each other and our clients or stakeholders or whomever, right? Vendors. And I think that if you're not building a workforce that can certainly use AI to enhance what they're doing, but that still can connect and build these relationships to grow the business into the future. I mean, you can't without collaboration of like a human, having a conversation. How are you achieving that long term, right? Like you can't just. I don't know. I'll stop there. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think that we can't erase the human from the equation
No, yeah,
in
I'm
most cases. Some, sure, there's some.
yeah, I'm kind of in that camp where I think yes and no. I think there are entire roles that will likely get eliminated at some point. You can definitely see the trajectory of it, but and there's some roles that maybe half of it is AI driven, but at the same time, there's going to be new roles that pop up. I can already see going back to Rachel and she has this whole structure of how to build kind of an AI team. It's you have an AI strategist, you have an implementer, and AI operator, and these are
Mm-hmm.
all kind of like new roles that are popping up that companies are realizing that they need in their organizations. So these are completely new roles of AI operator is the one that I think she focuses on a lot is essentially the person that's doing all the prompt engineering, like the stuff that we're doing in the community,
Yeah.
and then kind of ushering or kind of breaking down the workflows and the processes, making it AI compatible, and then building the prompts, and then kind of driving the adoption within the organization. These are roles that don't exist today in many organizations that I think you're going to start seeing this triad of kind of strategist, implementer, operator, uh,
Hmm.
building it in, within a consulting firm, within each practice, or kind of at an enterprise level. There's definitely going to be these roles in the future.
You know what it makes me think about? And I wonder if companies will start relying on this more, but I feel like we're going to see enhanced internships, like more intern roles, because think about it. You bring an intern in, you hire for attitude, you hire for, some level of critical thinking skills or some kind of, educational success measure, right? And an attitude of like willing to learn, and you put them into these situations where you train them or figure out where they're, and they can be this agent. Would you call it like the, of the three triad or whatever? What did you say? Triad
Uh, yeah, the
of
strategist, implementer, operator.
yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, don't you think that? I mean, to me, that's what I would want to do is get the people in and figure out
Yeah.
how to make them into that thing because that's the future anyway. So what young person coming out of school or wherever wouldn't want to be trained into the future of work, right? Or like keep themselves relevant.
Yeah, and they're probably best suited for it because they're already using it. I'm sure they're using
Right.
it in college already
They're
to
going to teach the company something
oh yeah, for
about
sure.
it too. Think about that.
Yeah, I had a client who hired an intern. They came in and automated an entire invoicing process that they were doing manually that took, days to get
Oh my
done
gosh.
by
Yeah.
a single person, and the the intern essentially automated their job and then just kind of relaxed for the rest of the summer,
I mean,
which was hilarious. But yeah,
hire that person, right?
no kidding. Yeah, that's essentially these new roles that are going to pop up everywhere
Uh
that
huh.
I think the next generation is very well positioned for. There you go. So let's end on that positive note. So it's
I
not doom
like
and
it.
gloom. The future is
Yes,
bright.
it is. The future is bright.
The future is
That's right.
bright. Yes. Just revamped our website a bit, and that's
That's our new
front front and center. The future is bright.
saying. I,
Cool.
you know, I love that.
Yeah. All right. It's great talking to you, Carrie, as
Thank
always.
you. Yep.
We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.